Hi everybody, this is Jimmy with nCLOSE, and I'm going to show you today how to install your clear counter mount into your counter. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to attach your clear counter to the top assembly of the QSR kiosk. We recommend a little water or alcohol preferably because it evaporates very quickly. You're going to notice that at one point there's a little bit of friction, and that's fine, don't worry about that. The next thing you're going to want to do is kind of figure out how thick your counter is and where you really want to position this and how you want it to rotate. So the next thing we're going to discuss is the key. We refer to this as the key, and this is what you're going to mount underneath your counter and put your QSR kiosk top through. So the reason we say this is the key is because from here, it should rotate a little bit over 180 degrees to about 200. So whether you want it to rotate on one side of the counter to the other, you would position the key towards me on this side of the counter. If you would only like it to rotate on one side of the counter, you position it at a parallel angle to the front of the counter, and that way it's going to run alongside the front. Now, it does run a little over, so we recommend you test it prior to securing it into the bottom. The next thing you're going to want to do is determine how far from the front of the counter you're going to want to mount this. We recommend going ahead and putting this in before you install, determining with the business owner exactly where they want it, and from there you're going to get your correct location. Now, the next thing you're going to need is a hole saw, 1.5 inch, and once you've gone ahead and determined the location of where that's going to be, you set up your hole saw and you go through. From there, we recommend just getting the surface clean. Now, you can use your finger, you can use a file, whatever you like to kind of clear this, but bottom line, the clear counter part is going to be going through. We recommend drilling from the top down because you do not want particles breaking on the top and splintering, so make sure you go from the top down. Second, you can determine the length that this is going to be preset at prior to setting anything. So imagine now we're flipped over and we're on the bottom of the counter. What you're going to do is you're going to take your key and just keep note of it right now, but you're going to go ahead and set that over the hole. The next thing you're going to do is try to adjust this to the depth of your counter so that when you set this in from the top, you're aligning your screw holes here with the screw holes here. Once you do that, everything else is very easy and straightforward. So from this perspective, I'm going to go ahead and take my counter, adjust this to exactly where my screws are. Make sure you line it up, notice where they are, and then go ahead and adjust the depth. So I've got to adjust this a little higher, and then once I set this in from the top, it's very easy and straightforward. Now, we recommend prior to setting this in, you're going to go ahead and set all 4 of these in, turn it around, set it in. What does that do? That allows you to set everything very easily, position it from the top and hands-free. Now, we're going to identify which way we want it to rotate. I want it to rotate from this side of the counter to that one, so I'm going to put the key facing me, which is the rectangle, or in this case, I'm going to do it facing you so you see it. Next, we take our number 6 screws, and depending upon the thickness of your counter, you may want to use a 1/2 inch, 3/4, or something different. But you're going to basically position these in 4 locations. Have all of your other screws tightened in as far as the mount. And now you've gone ahead and installed your clear counter. The last thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and go to the top side of the counter, and you're just going to simply push down the clear counter to make sure it's flush, clean off the surface. And that's it. You've now installed a clear counter through your counter with the nCLOSE QSR kiosk.